Good evening. Today we are going to cover some very important topic in this video. So this relates to the anti-evasion provisions under the GST law. Now, to protect the interests of revenue, GST law provides for attachment of bank account and other property of taxpayer, as well as blocking of electronic credit ledger. We'll discuss these topics because these are of very importance, great importance for the taxpayers, and they are impacting them day in and day out. The importance also is because the GST law does not distinguish between a taxpayer having good faith or bad faith, and therefore it is causing a lot of harassment, particularly to bona fide taxpayers. So we will quickly cover these topics. First, we'll deal with the statutory provision. Section 83 provides for power of attachment by commissioner where there are proceedings pending under section 62, 63, 64, 67, 73 or 74 of the CGST Act. Now section 62, 63, 64 relate to assessment, 67 is search and seizure, and 73, 74 are demand and recovery proceedings. So wherever if such proceedings are pending and commissioner is of the opinion that interest of revenue will get prejudice if the attachment is not done, he can order for attachment of such property, bank account, etc. of a taxable person, and such attachment is valid for 1 year. Now the manner of attachment is prescribed in under Rule 159, which provides that the attachment should be in Form DRC 22. Taxpayer can make representation within 1 week, and thereafter a hearing will be provided by commissioner. And if commissioner is satisfied, he can revoke the attachment by passing order in DRC 23. Also, Rule 86A has been enacted. So now what this 86A does is it provides for blocking of electronic credit ledger. And therefore, again, there are reasons to believe which have to be recorded, and that the ITC has been availed fraudulently. And those conditions for fraudulent availment are that either the supplier is not existent, or the recipient is not existent, or that the goods have not been received or supplied, or that the recipient does not possess tax invoice or debit note, or whatever tax that the recipient paid to the supplier has not deposited the same with the government. Now, we'll also discuss some of the rulings in this regard relating to the attachment of bank account, etc., as well as relating to Rule 86A. So what Gujarat High Court in the case of Valerius did, it provided for guidelines which need to be followed for attachment of bank account. So Gujarat High Court stated that this must be done only where it is necessary to protect the interest of revenue. That is, that even after assessment, the taxpayer will fail to pay any demand confirmed tax amount. Then in such case, revenue will be fair in attaching the account. Also, there should be credible material or information available with the department. This power must be used sparingly in deserving cases, and that too based on cogent and valid reasons. Also, it should be used with extreme care and caution, and that there is apprehension of default. It should not be used as a tool to harass taxpayer or to bring the business to a halt, because if it is detrimental to the continuation of business itself, that cannot be said to be in the interest of revenue. Without business, there can be no tax, and therefore it cannot be in the interest of revenue. Again, there are guidelines prescribed in SS Industries. Also, similar guidelines were prescribed for the blocking of credit in the electronic credit ledger. In Alpha Enterprises, Rule 86A was challenged, and the grounds for challenge was that this rule has been inserted based on the power to make rules under Rule 164, but there is no backup provision So while section 16 provides for conditions that the taxpayer needs to meet to avail credit. Now, availing credit is one thing, but blocking the credit already availed is another. There is no provision under the GST law which provides that in what cases credit once availed can be blocked, or giving the enabling provision to block such credit. And therefore, the blocking of credit, this rule 86A is without any backing provision. Also, what is seen is that invariably credit is blocked without assigning any reasons or without issuance of show cause notice. The reasonable belief which the commissioner is required to entertain is never disclosed. And therefore, these are the reasons why this rule itself has been challenged. Now, there have been some recent amendments. So, there is a case, another case of Gujarat High Court in the case of Vinod Kumar Muralidhar Chechani, where Gujarat High Court, while dealing with provisional attachment under Section 83 of CGST Act, compared this provision with Section 281B of the Income Tax Act, which provides for identical provisional attachment provisions. Now, in Section 281B, Gujarat High Court observed that this section provides for the safeguards as well as the procedure that the income tax authorities need to follow before ordering provisional attachment. And Gujarat High Court observed that such safeguards are missing, such guidelines are missing in Section 83 of CGST Act, and therefore Gujarat High Court directed CBIC, which is the Central Board of Excise and Customs, Indirect Taxes and Customs, to frame suitable guidelines for invoking powers under Section 83. Now, instead of framing guidelines, what the Finance Budget 2021 did, Union Budget 2021, it sought to expand the scope of Section 83. So, what it does is that attachment can now be done in all cases of assessment, inspection, search, seizure, arrest, demand and recovery. And instead of providing for earlier mandate of pendency of proceedings, it simply requires initiation of proceedings. Also, as against the earlier mandate of only attaching property of a taxable person, now it enables attachment against any person who either induces the transaction or retains the benefit of the transaction. So, this is not in line with what Gujarat High Court held and will obviously be challenged in times to come. Now, some of the safeguards, whether it is a case of attachment or it is a case of blocking of ITC, what the taxpayers must do is that they must be prepared, they must verify all the details, authenticity of their suppliers, recipients, so as to be on the safer side, right side of the law. They must keep reconciliation of their returns with backup data, documents, so that as and when any proceedings do come up, they can immediately submit this backup data and documents and reconciliation and satisfy the authorities. Also, they must keep tangible evidence of the supply, receipt of goods, services, so that they can demonstrate to the authorities that there is no paper or bogus transaction, but it is actual supply of goods, services. Also, once attachment order is received, they should immediately file representation and seek personal hearing. They should also need to examine the validity of the attachment with their documents and extend jurisprudence to see whether if the authorities are not satisfied, they can approach the Honorable High Court to get such attachment quashed. So, if the taxpayers are diligent, definitely they'll be able to overcome these actions of the department, and they must be very watchful in this regard. Otherwise, their business will get hampered. So, that is all from our side today. Thank you.